Hey, did you know that in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, at the naval prison that houses some of the most dangerous men on earth, that the guards there are specially trained? Now, I know this because I went there. I went to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to do shows for fucking us. Yeah, for the troops. They weren't like, here's the 9/11 planners, why don't you give them a giggle? That'd be insane if they're like, get in there and you make Khalil Sheikh Mohammed laugh. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, ha ha ha, I like, he's a funny guy. So when you go to Gitmo, you don't just buy a ticket, right? You fly to Florida and a military plane picks you up and they take you to the base, and you're greeted by high-ranking naval officers, and they're pretty formal. They go, thank you for coming, we're all excited for your show, we're gonna put you in the special housing unit, let us know if you need anything. And you go, thanks very much. And then they pass you off to some Marines who are a little different. And then, first thing these guys said to me, they go, you wanna see some shit? I go, yeah, fuck yeah, of course, yes. So these guys put me in a Jeep, and they took me to a hilltop. And right away, they're like, you shouldn't be up here, man. This is classified. I go, you just fucking drove me here. And they're like, all right, good point. And they point to this white building in the distance. They go, that's level 4. That's what you see on the news. I go, wow. And then they tell me this fascinating insight. They tell me that the guards there are specially trained. So I assume they're talking about Navy SEALs. They go, no. They're trained for their demeanor, how they carry themselves. I said, what do you mean? They said, well, the prisoners often protest their imprisonment by throwing their feces and their urine in the guards' faces. And the guards are not allowed to retaliate. They're only allowed to say 2 things back to the prisoner when that happens. They're allowed to say, are you hungry? Or, are you thirsty? That's it. And if the guard... It's funny when you think about it. If the guard does retaliate, the guard can be court-martialed, meaning you can go to prison for retaliating against someone who threw shit and piss in your face. This is what it's like to be the father of a 6-year-old boy. My son, yeah, that's called an A1 setup.
I feel like life is about timing, you know? Timing. When to pull out. When to stop wiping. When do you ask a professional athlete for his autograph after a home playoff loss? And I think the answer is never. Thankfully, one of my friends doesn't think this way. It is my favorite thing that's happened in my adult life, okay? One of my buddies, he lives in Cincinnati. He is a big Cincinnati Bengals fan, okay? Now, yeah, I know, they're tough. So, he goes to their game, they lose, which isn't weird, and then he decides he's gonna wait in the tunnel and ask players for autographs. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, wait, are you friends with like an 8-year-old boy or something? No, it's a grown man. So, picture me in the tunnel of the stadium like, hi guys, keep your head up. Can I have an autograph? And he said they were all like, no. And some of them were like, fuck you. Imagine your heroes being like, fuck you. Oh my God. And then Adam Pac-Man Jones walked out of the locker room. Now, if you don't follow football and you're like, I don't know who that is, well, how can I best describe him? One time he went to a strip club and a bunch of people got shot. And then that happened 2 more times. What's up? I'll give you a sense of his vibe as bang, bang, ba-bang, bang, bang, ba-bang, bang, 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 bang. He is not approachable. So, my honky-ass friend the biggest honky in America goes, Pac-Man!
If you have the audacity to tell people how you're doing when they say how you doing, that shit is rude and selfish, all right? There are two acceptable answers to how you're doing. Fine and great. And if you're miserable, you say fine. You don't burden people with your real world problems during a courteous exchange. Yeah. You know why? Because nobody wants to hear your problems. Your problems make my off. And I am trying to stay hard out here. Now,
I saw a racial fight recently, which is terrible, but I watched it. How are you not gonna watch? You're gonna watch every fight, you know? Fights have that weird quality. Fights are kind of like jobs, and that like, you don't really want one, but you're like, let's see where it goes, you know? Like, I'm in Philadelphia, walking through the park in the middle of the day. And as I'm walking through it, I see a white guy, and he yells across the park to a black guy. He calls him a nerd. And when you hear that and you're in public, you're like, oh my God. And then another black guy, I don't know if he lived in the bushes, but he popped out of the bushes. Like, if this is a bush right here, I just saw a black guy go, no. Not in my park, And it became my own personal movie. I watched him line up like the honey badger. He was like, that one? All right. And he sprinted across the park and he tackled the white guy. So instinctively, I just went, get him!